Wow, everybody. Talk about some exciting discussion. We had a whole half hour where we talked about contracting, and it just because we've had specialists from all different areas, but somebody does the whole enchilada. These guys know what they're doing. So Mike is in studio with us right now. We've actually got Cameron is joining us. Cameron is the foreman, and he is technically his son-in-law, or he's your son-in-law.
That's correct.
Married your daughter, and so you see Cameron's picture up there. That's him on the left on that picture. Sarah's his wife on the right in the picture, but on the screen up there. But yeah, great stuff, guys. All right, now let's get into this a little bit more. First, I want to give us a little bit of your background, Cameron, and tell us how'd you get involved here, why do you do this, and what do you love about it?
Well, I've been in construction for over 30 years now. Been doing it since high school, and just have bounced around. Did a lot of different businesses. Had my own business for years, and then probably about 5 years ago. Decided to come on board with Mike and Scott and the crew, and it just made sense for me to come on board, and I think it's been a good fit.
Why do you feel such a good fit?
I believe we approach things the same. Like it was said before, just the attention to detail and the caring and the quality. It's big for all of us. We're putting our name on it. We're putting our reputation on it. So we strive for quality. We strive for an A+ job every time. And we want that positive feedback. We want always people to be happy, that smile on their face when we leave. We don't want a text or a call like, well, you missed something. We don't do that. So.
Yeah, well, there's a lot that goes into the whole construction job, but you're the foreman. You're the guy that when it comes down to it, they say, hey, and then Mike will call yours. Or your brother-in-law, Scott, or I guess it's nephew? Are you nephew?
Well, he'd be an uncle-in-law, but I don't think that's a thing.
He's nephew, yeah. Yeah, he's nephew. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to. At the same time, I almost had a job for Scott, but I touched the camera up there, zooming in just a little bit on you. But, yeah, I mean, these guys are barking out the orders, making sure this all gets done. And you're the guy, you're the foreman. You says, all right, this is how we're going to do it. This is what. Tell me, what is the job of the foreman? What do you really do as a matter of making this all come together?
Oh, I mean, daily operations, communicating with the homeowner, discussing plans, discussing details, and seeing a job to completion. That's a role that we all play, but it's about keeping the guys running smoothly, and again, striving for quality, and not just me, not just him, but everyone that puts a hand on that job. We stress quality. We stress, quality is job one. So, and that's what we're working towards.
Well, Mike, does he do his job? Does he get it done?
Absolutely. There's nobody better, that I can call to make sure that the things are handled properly when Scott or I are not there. It's really a blessing.
Well, that's important to have somebody that you can count on to get the job done, and it's also, we talked about how nice is it to have somebody in the family. You can say, hey, you're married to my daughter. Better get this right. Yeah. But he obviously passed the test before you got started, because he said, yes, I approve you to marry my daughter. And so that's worked out well. And so how long have you been working with the company now?
Around 5 years, 5-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So almost over a half decade by now, and coming up on that's once you get into stuff that long, you've really kind of got the wheels are turning. These guys have been doing it for a while. You jumped right in and was able to make this thing keep on churning, because they needed that kind of work done. Well, we looked at a lot of the work these guys have done. If you take a look at that stuff, there's so much good looking stuff we've got up there. We've got some of it up here. This is the kitchens on the wall behind me. I'll show everybody that. But the kitchen stuff, man, that kitchen looks dynamite. Did you help with that one, Cameron? Do you know?
I don't remember.
There's a few of them that you've
I think so, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, you were around for that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's one of the problems is we do so much throughout every year that you look back, you're like, I may or may not remember it. You're always thinking ahead. We unfortunately don't have a lot of time to look back.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Take note, everybody. Do the job right. You don't have to worry about what did you do. It doesn't matter. It was done right, and done right the first time. That's planning. I like the way you said the mistake a lot of people make. Our first show. Watch that whole first show, everybody. Lots of great information on there. It's available on our YouTube, Facebook, and on theirs as well, because we give a copy to all of our guests. But plan it out, do it well, and then bring in the people to make sure it happens. That's why Cameron is here too.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's talk about it a little bit. Cameron, what's a big mistake you think that people make a lot of times when they're going through a project like this?
I mean, the guys touched on it before. It's going into a project and not understanding the amount of work that's going to have to be done. And take a kitchen, there's a lot of mechanicals, a lot of things that have to happen and come together, scheduling and mechanicals and cabinetry, and all the way down to the finished product and putting handles on them doors. It requires scheduling, and it requires, staying on schedule and keeping communication, and people sometimes don't understand, and we're going to disrupt your life, unfortunately, sometimes, especially for a kitchen. Your life is going to be disrupted a little bit, but we're going to do our hardest to get you back, to square one. So.
Well, and it's got to be worth it. I mean, obviously they're getting an improvement in the house. I don't know how many houses I've been part of. I grew up in a couple houses, obviously, and then my parents, they still own the house down in Fayette, Missouri. It's a nice old Victorian house. And boy, they made one big upgrade, and that was to that kitchen, and it turned the house into a beautiful, unbelievable place. Right. 12-foot ceilings, 10-foot door, unbelievable place, but as everything kind of gets worn out, it's a 150-year-old house. That kitchen really makes it worthwhile. So lots that goes into that, and you guys are making sure to coordinate that and make it, because the value you add to somebody's house is still great, especially when you do a kitchen. Kitchens are going from, what's the average kitchen cost for somebody to put together? From 15 to 30, 50,000.
Yeah, most of them hover around 30. Some can, depending on your finishes, can go up from there. Okay.
Yeah, lots that goes into that. All right, well, tell me then. Tell me a time when you felt like you really helped a client out that was in a tough situation. I know there's a lot of examples as many years as you guys have been in business here, but there's some, oh, wow, here's something that went wrong, but we're going to fix this and we're going to make it right. And I guess some of that comes from that background as the military. We're going to make sure we get this done right. We're going to take care of people. Sure. Tell me, do you have an example of somebody you can share with me?
Sure. Some years back, a young lady in Lake St. Louis, I want to say she was about 82, and she was on her own, and she hired a guy to come in and remodel her master bathroom, and he did a bunch of work illegally. Oh, wow. And it wasn't up to code. It wasn't even done right, let alone the code books, but he just took off with her money. Oh, and she called us, and we had to first build trust that we weren't going to do the same. So we went in without taking a dime until we were done, just to prove the fact that, we're here to help you. But we ripped everything out that he didn't do. We got permits, which weren't done before, and we finished that job and, put our house back together.
Wow, that's a lot for, especially for a lady. That's the only major resource she's got. That's everything she's put into that, and somebody comes and takes the money and runs. Yeah. Wow, that's a terrible thing. But it made it easy for her to say, "Hey, don't even pay us up front, and wait till we get done, and make sure everything's right." That's
yeah. It's heartbreaking when you see, especially older folks. They come from a different generation where if you say something, you better mean it. It hurts to see somebody put in that situation. So we do our best to help our community and fellow people on this planet, every chance we can.
Well, that's dynamite, because there's so much that goes into a community, and when you're really helping to make that community cohesive and build the property, it looks great because it reflects the rest of the neighborhood. If we got one, that house over there, it's bringing down the value of everybody in the neighborhood. Right. And they can say, no, man, that work was done well. We fixed something that somebody didn't want to get done correctly, but you made it right. Well, then tell me about it. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people that would be interested in working with you. What's the process for somebody that says, all right, Mike, I'm ready for you guys to come in? How do they get started with you?
Sure. Number one, you can always call. It's on all of our shirts, so you can see it if you see us out in the world. We've got advertising, Better Business Bureau, Home Advisor, Angie's List. You can call. The other way is go straight to our website. You can schedule an appointment online directly through the website. You don't have to call or talk to nobody.
Yeah, I don't put that up for everybody, but here they can say, hey, book us right now. Here you can see the option. It depends what you're looking for. Bathroom, plumbing, deck, you got it all. Doors, flooring, kitchen, siding, wow, basement, general consultation. You guys have got it all outlined. Each one of those is set up individually so that they can get that done per the job, what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So you guys are a general contractor, obviously, but you say, hey, let's narrow it down to the specific thing you guys need so we make sure this job gets done right. Start off on the right foot. Easy to get started with these guys, but you can see the information there. MH Contracting LLC. serving in St. Louis and especially St. Charles area, right?
Correct.
You guys are based out of Wentzville. MHcontracting.com, 314-960-3008. A service disabled veteran-owned business. I think that's important because, boy, the vets, my dad, I wear an American flag on my Cardinals jersey every game I go to, and that was because my dad always had that lapel with the American flag on it. We're big advocates, and he wanted to serve, but he had a problem with his back, and they wouldn't let him. He said, "I want to go out there," and we won't get into the political side of the discussion. He wanted to help straighten out the world. He did it in his own way. You guys are doing great stuff too. All right, so tell me what's a big challenge business-wise that you've had to overcome? I mean, there's a lot that goes into a business, but we like to share with people a particular, without giving details about anybody specific, but when you're like, oh man, this is going to be tough, but we got to fix this to keep the business going. It's important. Or a time when you saw a client had an issue. Anything like that, either one of you guys would want to discuss.
Do you have anything? If not, I can come up.
Yeah.
So challenges, number one, I would say, is a lot of clients see these things on, the internet, Pinterest or, Google or something. They'll see these things that, these designs, they don't realize the attention or the cost that goes into making something like that. So we'll have to have a talk with, homeowners and to let them know this can be done, but it's going to cost a lot more than what you were probably expecting. So it's just being upfront.
Yeah, sure. I mean, when you're getting into these things, is it that attention to detail, and especially if they want it to look the way they saw the picture, right, or what you've shown them. See, there's a little more that goes to this than just the cookie cutter stuff. You can't just walk into Lowe's and pick up everything you need. Cameron, what you call setting expectations, I guess, and some people have to go in and say, let me explain what that really went into that project, so you understand what really is involved.
Yeah, like you said, people will come to us with pictures and from online, and this is what I want. And we have to say, that's great, but that is not what, that is not what we came to do, or that's above and beyond probably that most people would do, and I think people see pictures and they're just enamored with them. Sure. And it's just the wow factor online. And sometimes we got to bring people down to earth a little bit, but it doesn't mean they don't get what they want. It just means that we got to keep things realistic.
Sure, they see that picture from Home Remodeling Magazine, and like, I want all that. Well, that's marble and granite and vaulted ceilings and in-cuts and everything else. You got to point some of that out to them. But I can imagine there's ways for you to say, hey, we're going to make it look dynamite too, especially with some of the stuff you've seen here. I haven't seen anything that didn't look dynamite. Exactly. I guess there's little upgrades they could do. What are some of the biggest upgrades that people like to have? But then they think about it, or they say maybe not after they consider the extra cost.
Well, people love built-ins. They love custom work, bookshelves, custom drawers, things in their basement, things in their living room, and that's great. And we enjoy doing it a lot. We love custom trim work. We love custom built-ins, but unfortunately, that comes with a custom price tag too. So, and I think people want that, and then they realize, okay, well, maybe we can scale back a little bit. So, and again, we hate bursting people's bubbles sometimes, but we got to be realistic too. So,
You deal with that a lot, Mike?
A lot of the, like Cameron stated, a lot of the custom woodworking, not only is the materials more expensive, but it's just a ton of labor that goes into it, and that's what brings up the cost. There's a lot of attention to detail. So.
Yeah, I can imagine custom work is everything's specific. There's nothing there that was like, oh yeah, out of the box, we can just throw this together, and that adds quite a bit of amount of cost for what they're doing. But there's always, I guess, was there any job that ever doesn't have something specific that was? Every house is a little different, so then it's just a matter of how far they want to go. Do they want the wood finishing and the walnut or whatever they need there? But you can just help coach them through that. You also become a pricing consultant for them, I guess, to say, here's what you're going to spend, but here's what we can do if you can. Here's an alternative option.
Right. Yeah, we do that a lot. They tell us what they want, and then we work through the options of how we can do it within their budget. Some people are more than welcome to go over their budget. They just want that look, so they don't care about the money. But for the everyday Joe like us, money is always an issue. So you don't want to go in there and just try to take advantage of people. You want to provide a quality product for a quality price.
Absolutely. You second that, Cameron?
Absolutely. And you know, and like you said, you want people to have what they want. You want to offer options and do what you can, but you know, there's got to be a realistic expectation too with that. So,
okay.
But we do our best. We really do.
Yeah. Well, looking at the work you guys have got out there, guys, ladies and gentlemen, check out this work, mhcontracting.com. Or just get them on Facebook too. They've got a great looking Facebook that's got a lot of great work on it. Easy to contact, easy to get a hold of these guys, and obviously some great looking work. So if there's anything here, well, I said, it looks like you cut corners there. None of that looked this way, but I guess you just make it look good no matter what. It's that finish you can put on there that makes it just look professional.
Right.
You guys got it. All right. That's pretty cool, and that's what we like to see. All right. Well, then tell me what's up. What if anybody's looking at this and they look at you and they say, "I want this," but an objection they have, something they go, but I'm not sure, and explain to me why I should do that. What's the biggest objection you hear from people?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
I don't know if we do a lot of upfront homework and discussions with homeowners before we ever show up with the crew to either demo something or start building something. So I would say there's probably those conversations at the beginning phase of a project, but nothing really rings the bell right now.
Well, is cost a big consideration? I mean, obviously cost is something that people are just like kind of blown away, I guess, when they say, "Oh, I thought I could get this done for $3,000." No, that's for the refrigerator and the dishwasher, right? And so if you want to get the whole thing done, but cost, it seems to me, is something that always, I'm cheating here, looking at some of my notes. And cost, I mean, that's obviously the biggest objection just about everybody has is, oh my gosh, what's this going to cost? And then you say, hey, let me explain to you what you're getting here, because how often is it, I mean, it's probably never that they have the cost and the value doesn't increase as much as they put into it, right? The value of their house goes up.
Correct. Yeah, we did a basement recently, actually, where the homeowners had a cost in mind, and it was a good number, but for what they actually wanted. And then I had obviously brought forth some extra ideas to help make the space more usable. So the cost was more than what they originally anticipated, but they worked through it, and we compromised. They found more money. And, we got the project done, and they absolutely loved the space. Even their kids, they love this space. So
Cameron, that's a lot of times they have to find more money. They had to come up with a way if they really want to make it look the way they want.
Yeah, and that's not common. That's not an every job thing. Like he said, he does the work, he does the footwork and the talking and discussions beforehand to prepare them so they have the money they need and know what things are going to cost. We don't like surprising people, we won't do it. So there's no hidden agendas here. There's no surprises. So, we try to be as transparent and upfront with everything as we can be. So.
Yeah, we don't, until we have a contract and an agreed upon price and scope of work, we don't do any work.
Right.
We don't like surprises. Nobody likes surprises. So.
So that's a matter. That's the exception more than the rule. To say, oh yeah, I'm going to throw more money at this. You're normally start. So that's where you talked about the initial big tip that you give for everybody is like, let's play. And we talked about that off camera between the shows. Measure twice, cut once, right? Because if you've planned this out better, then there are no surprises. You're not going to say, oh yeah, by the way, that thing needs to be elevated 4 inches and cut into the corner and move this over. That all doesn't happen if you plan this out. Typically
upcharges are not on our end. It's on their end. We don't charge more just because we make a mistake or do something that we didn't plan on doing. That's usually on us to eat that cost. So we don't go after homeowners for nonsense like that. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I make it very clear to homeowners before we start work. Once you sign the contract, the price you see is the price you're paying, unless you come to us and ask for more or less work to be done. Most of the time, it's more work to be done. They're adding things on, which is good for us, but it also benefits them.
Right. Well, that's why I said it's better to do this thing right and do it right the first time, because you don't want people coming back 2 years later and saying, "Oh, by the way, can you undo this plumbing or can you rerun this electrical? You're going into the walls."
Right.
I mean, we just had a little apartment job done, and the water pipes froze, that coldest freeze in the history of the world, last 41 years or whatever. And anyway, they put a wire down the middle of the ceiling over to a place where it was in the middle of the appliance would be in front of a window. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? This doesn't even make sense. So they had to go cut the whole thing out, and then they put it over, and then they put it over to where it could have been off to the side. They put it in the middle of that appliance. It's like amateurs, right? You know, that's not the kind of work we're looking at here. You guys get this done. You spend the time to do so.
We're the ones that come and fix that.
Right.
The ones that come and fix it, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh boy. Well, those are the things you don't want to see happen. I can see. I'm putting up here some of the work that they've got here. This is on their Facebook page, by the way, everybody. So go to Facebook, type in MH Contracting. You'll see this. It's MH Contracting 1 is their page, by the way. And then you can see some of this work here. But boy, there's a finished basement for you. You want to talk about good looking work? This is some great looking stuff. I mean, what's a room like that cost to get done? Is that the whole basement there? Is that?
That was the entire basement. That was a full bathroom, a kitchenette, a bedroom, a legal bedroom, I should say, had an egress, and then there was a gym and actually a laundry room down there. So that was a $75,000 project.
That's $75,000 to put that in there, but I made the house go up at least $75,000.
Oh yeah, they'll get a lot more out of their house.
And that just looks like they've added another level to their house. I mean, down here you've got everything that somebody could imagine they needed to have another living quarters down there. I mean, you've got the whole lounge area. Where they got a foosball table or something over there on the far end.
Correct.
I mean, this is where they're really putting together something that they can.
That whole back wall, there was only 2 windows in that whole wall. You know, there's 5 or 6 now. You know, we cut those in and put those in, and you know, that's the legal bedroom. You got to have your egress. That's the laundry room. So there's a lot of
the same project.
Yes, sir.
That looks dynamite. Oh wow, yeah. So
that was the before.
That's before.
The 2 windows.
The 2 windows. So doing all the work to make this all fit and dynamite looking work. Well, as we say, everybody, there's if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you want to make sure you do it right, because how often do people say, here's $10,000, and you go, oh, but I want to undo the whole thing and start over. You can't afford to do that. I mean, that's just too expensive.
No,
because
nobody.
there's work, there's labor, you're tearing stuff. They got to buy the material. It's like starting over, I guess, right?
Right.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, we don't have a whole lot of people tell us to rip something out. You know, we do a lot of fixing, but you know, it's very far and few in between that we have to rip something out that somebody else did.
Well, it's important. So tell me, as you get through all this work, Cameron, what is it that makes this the most satisfying for you? Then once you've gotten to this level, you're going, all right, now we got a great looking product. Scott talked about it earlier. He liked the before and the after.
Sure.
You're there during the whole time, making sure everything gets done.
Yeah.
Tell me.
It's very rewarding. The rewarding part can be, you know, the customer's joy in the finished product. I find some intrinsic, you know, value in what I do just from the inherent joy of doing the work, especially when I was talking about, you know, custom trim work and built-ins and such. There's a lot of parts of what we do that are rewarding in themselves. Don't even need external rewards like praise and, you know, admiration and all that.
Don't give out trophies.
Right. No, you don't get trophies for doing your job. You do your job because that's your job.
Right.
So, but it's very rewarding because you're affecting people's lives. You're changing their lives often. You know, we've had the comments from people that say, you know, we're so glad we hired you. You know, we're so glad you came into our life and did this for us. And those are the rewards that we love, you know, the pats on the backs, the handshake at the end, the hug, you know, just there's a lot of joy to be had in that part of the process. So
you agree with that, Mike?
I do.
This is a very rewarding business you get to run to help it really impact people's lives. I like what Cameron was saying there. You're really impacting the way somebody's family functions and what their houses can offer them so they can raise the family and do all that.
Right. Yeah, we enjoyed not only the accolades at the end of seeing the finished product, but we all enjoy working with our hands. You know, we all had shop class in school, and you know, you learn how to do that thing, and it's really a rewarding career. You know, it's a lot better than sitting behind a desk in a cubicle, you know.
Well, that's what we like to talk about, everybody. So tell me then, how do you feel you most contribute to the community? If there's anything you say or particular charity that you work with or charity work that you do, how do you feel? I mean, obviously you're contributing here just by helping people's houses gain great value and give them the function they need to have a family, take care of everything. But what else do you do in the community?
Well, we always donate, obviously, money to like Wounded Warriors, other veteran programs.
Okay.
We've done projects for clients, you know, like the young lady out in Lake St. Louis that got taken advantage of. We do stuff like that. You know, we've done work for cancer patients that where they didn't have the money to rehab a bathroom so that, the person could walk around, roll around in a wheelchair. We've done projects like that for free just because that's what needed to be done. We've done work for Homes for Heroes for disabled veterans that have come back from fighting for us all. So we really try to give back.
Very important. That's key. Cameron, you enjoy that part of it? What do you feel like you guys do mostly to contribute?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what he said. It's about being part of the community too. Getting to know. We've gotten to know so many people over the years too, and kind of harking on what we just talked about too. Getting to know those people through the process. You make friends, you make new friends. I have so many contacts on my phone. All these previous customers and everything, and once in a while you get a text or a, and it just feels like you're part of something bigger than yourself, and just being part of something like a community that works towards the same end, which is just to make things better. We're bettering everything we touch. So
yeah, big improvements you can make to people's houses. We talked about this a little bit between shows. What's it like these days finding people to work? Employees, it's tough. It's a tough market out there. Tell me how you guys deal with that. And obviously, you're getting the work done. The three of you guys run the show. But are you looking for help, or where are you at with where are you at in the whole hiring process?
We're always looking for employees, whether it be plumbers or carpenters, laborers that want to do something more than just be a laborer. We're always looking for employees. I don't know where everybody went when COVID hit, but they need to come back.
Sure. Cameron, is that part of the fun for what you do, hiring people and training them and getting them skilled?
And we know it's required at this point. We're getting older, and we need to bring other people up, and we're all about teaching and training, and there's definitely a gap, a skilled trades gap that needs to be filled. I don't know how deep we want to get into this, but college isn't for everybody.
Sure.
Bring back shop class. All those statements. Kids need to learn to work with their hands again. College isn't for everyone. You finish college with $100,000 bill and you're working at McDonald's.
Sure.
And that's we can better people's lives, and you can better your own life by learning a trade, working hard. We work hard, we do, but it's not all glitz and glamour. It's we work hard for what we do, but it's very rewarding. So,
yeah, I was gonna say probably one of the things that's most exciting is the rewarding nature of having something you constructed and built it up, and now it's done, and they get to see it.
Correct.
Right.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Check them out. These experts, they're here. MH Contracting, serving the St. Louis and especially St. Charles area. MHcontracting.com, 314-960-3008. Get a hold of these guys. I hope you enjoyed our little show here on the Your Little Castle Show. All right, see you, buddy. Giddy up.